When you lie down with a dog, you get up smelling like one.
There's some typical Brady family drama where Shawn's blowing a gasket.
Will you let go of your damn pride for just a second and listen to me?
Peter Reckles doing really good in this scene. Hello everybody, this is my recap for the week of January 6th to 10th, 1986 for Days of Our Lives. Per usual, I could only do edits on YouTube because of copyright issues, so you must get to patreon.com/OCGTV to watch the full episodes and reactions to those episodes. Steve has some trouble of his own with Victor Kiriakis.
You recognize this?
It's a bandage, right?
Yes, I found it in that hovel you call a room, along with some ointment. Suppose you tell me why you keep a roll of bandages and ointment in your room, Stephen.
What's Steve's excuse?
I'm waiting for your answer, Stephen.
I don't see what the big deal is, Mr. Kiriakis.
I asked you why you keep a roll of bandages in your room.
All right. That's why.
What happened?
I got in a fight. Well, no,
I don't know if this was a good excuse unless he messed up his own hand purposely.
Indulge me.
Because Nurse Cunningham is a nurse, I guess, even though she's an evil nurse.
After looking at the condition of your hand, I'd rather not see his face. I'll get my medical bag and redress it.
Well, looks like Steve did the right thing and messed up his own hand.
Oh, man, would you take it easy?
Looks badly battered.
The guy I fought with had a head like a bowling ball, Mr. Kiriakis.
He probably punched a
much
bowling
of a
ball.
fighter.
There's no cupcake.
Seems to me he was a pushover. Other than your hand, there's not a mark on you. Well, let's just say I wish I'd seen that fight, Stephen. Where did it happen?
Down by the river?
Who were you fighting with?
I didn't catch his name.
Victor's not giving in on this suspicion. I like that from a villain.
Victor, please, please, if you love me, would you leave my husband alone and my daughter alone and my son alone?
And you? You want me to leave you alone too, Carol?
I think she does, even though maybe deep down they still have some feelings for each other. I don't know. She didn't answer the question. Of course, Steve and Victor at the beginning, Steve tried to put one over on Victor with his hand and punching a wall to make it look like he got in a fight, and that's where the bandages were from, and they were not from the pond. But I think Victor didn't really buy the story, which is what makes Victor a good villain. I don't know exactly how much Victor was involved with the explosion that hurt Shawn Brady, but he probably was involved in some capacity. And it sounds like Steve probably was too. So Caroline being mad at Victor, she didn't answer his question though. If she wants him to stay away from her, those two are always going to have this past, which is what deepens the story as we go along. I feel like the Bo versus Victor storyline is going to be a slow burn, but I'm fine with it because I'm such a big Bo fan.
You know, it's just so frustrating. I mean, we've doubled security, we've had rape prevention seminars, and this creep is still getting away with committing these crimes.
Not only that, this is scary. I mean, here we all are doing everything we can.
Once again, I'll say the story is so dark, but unfortunately it is kind of the one story they have right now that is tense.
Especially when so many of them are my family and my good friend. I took the stairs from the 7th floor down to the parking lot.
Anybody see you on the stairs?
I don't know, Abe. I don't remember. I don't think so.
What then?
Then when I got to the parking lot, the guy next to me had a flat tire. So I helped him change it, and then I went home.
Well, at least Mike has a hopeful witness that can see him
I don't know,
when the
Abe.
rape
I think his name
happened.
was Jerry or something. Look, if that's it with the questions, I got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
If I can avoid involving you, I'd much rather.
If you're involved, I'm involved.
Can't you know how good that sounds?
Do you know how good it is to be able to say that? I love you, Shane Donovan. And I really don't
you know,
what
maybe
I'd
you
do
should
if
tell him the
anything took you
truth
away
that
from me.
you had to sleep with Victor. I don't know if he knows that or not, but
I hope not.
assume he doesn't, because then he would think that maybe her baby
you a
could be
promise,
Victor's.
remember?
So Shane's trying to get his job back at the ISA that he was wrongfully accused of espionage. which isn't that intriguing to me. The bigger story is Kim keeping the secret about the conception of their baby, and if it could actually be Victor's and not Shane's.
Maybe he wants to play the hero or something.
You're just not being fair. The man saved your life, but you won't give him the benefit of the doubt.
So Victor's got Shawn out of the water.
Willing to give it too much.
What do you mean by that?
And now Caroline is sticking up for Victor after giving it to him in the last episode.
Side over mine.
That's not true.
May I help you?
Yes. I'm interested in buying a gun.
Maggie wants to buy a gun to protect herself.
Yes.
I have some in the case, and I'll bring a few out for you to look at.
It's probably a good idea. Not very Maggie-like, but a good idea.
I think it'll handle whatever problem you might have. We'll see how it feels. Well, what do you think?
That's fine.
I do wonder if Maggie buying a gun will lead to anything.
All right, let me get this straight.
I think I'm most intrigued by the hospital rapist storyline so far on the show because I've never seen much of it.
That's right.
So it's my genuine reaction. I was more intrigued by Maggie in this episode. She's been going through it from the rape. Buys herself a gun to feel protected, which I think is an obvious way to feel protected after you've been attacked like that. I don't know where they're going with Maggie having a gun. I don't know if Maggie is used to having a gun, if she even knows how to use it. I don't know if we'll get to a point where she has to use it. I don't know if Sarah's going to find the gun and it's going to be a big deal. Those are the two ways I see it going. We had Abe questioning Mike about being set up the night that the last nurse was raped a couple episodes ago, which we saw. But I don't think we're having any real movement on that investigation on Abe's behalf. But that is the story that is intriguing me most right now, since the Shane and Kim stuff, the Bo and Hope versus Victor stuff is going to continue to go by slowly, be a slow burn. The pawn hasn't been on for a couple episodes, so I'm hoping we get some pawn action soon.
I got a job down at
Shaw's not
Allied
going to like
Cargo.
this.
Ally?
Yeah, that's right.
That's curious.
Yeah, I know that, Pop. That's why I want to come down here and
Are
tell
you crazy?
No, Pop, will you listen to me
You
a second?
shut up. After everything I've said, you go out and take a job from that man? What are you trying to do to me?
You know, Shawn and Bo always had a bit of a contemptuous, if that's the word, relationship.
When you lie down with a dog, you get up smelling like one.
There's some typical Brady family drama
Gonna rub off on
where
me?
Shawn's blowing a
Will you
gasket.
let go of your damn pride for just a second and listen to me? I'm down there working right next to him, sweating right along with them.
Peter Reckles doing really good in this scene.
Oh, come on, Pop! You and I both know that this whole riverfront deal is a scam for something illegal.
It's so hard to get through to somebody who keeps holding your past against you.
So that's probably why they're not together, because Chris is holding Savannah's dirty past against her.
And it burned a little bit. Thought it might be a good idea if I just stay away from the fire from now on.
I mean, it's probably a fair request.
Gonna try it.
Chris has always been a goody two-shoes on the show.
Why'd you do it? Why'd you set off that explosion?
What explosion?
The explosion that almost killed my own man.
Bo's going hard right
Why'd you do
away.
it? Why?
Which, I mean, he should if he was involved with the explosion that hurt his father.
I think
Just because you put out my eye and gave me this little eye patch here, that doesn't mean I'm the only one with an eye patch. There's a lot of people around who have the same problem.
Well,
as
I
do.
don't
Now, think
know about
your problem
that,
is with
Steve.
Kyriakis. Now, why don't you just take it up with Kyriakis?
I'll take it up with you, man. You work for him.
I work for him here in this warehouse. Do you know what that means? I don't do bombs.
Bo's just stuck in arguments today.
Well, I see you when they brought you in. You had no identification. Would you tell me your name, please?
The pawn remembering Marlena, interestingly. A lot of remembering of Marlena.
I'd like to see what's under those bandages as much as you would. Sure would.
They probably need to come off by now.
I got an idea. Maybe sooner than you think. Hang on one second. Come on over here and sit.
I I don't know when Drake's first day on the job is, but when the bandages come off, it will be that day.
Call the guy who did that nice little face of yours.
So I don't know if Steve knows who the pawn really is, if that's what he's saying, or if he's just saying when the face reveal comes, he'll know that that person is the pawn. Regardless, I'm looking forward to movement in that pawn story. Bo and Hope were on today, so that's always good. I liked the confrontation between Bo and Shawn. They are two of a kind when they get their tempers flaring and arguing with each other. Then Bo went and got into an argument with Patch, and then Shawn went and got into an argument with Victor. Shawn being stubborn with Victor, I get it. His pride is on the line. He hates Victor. He hates what Victor does, hates what Victor's doing to the community. Doesn't want to be stubborn and give in and take Victor's money because it looks like he needs Victor. And I'm sure maybe there's a part of his relationship with Caroline that plays a part in that. We'll see what they do, though, because it sounds like they needed whatever Victor was giving them for their fish market to stay open. So that could go from bad to worse for the Bradys. Bo and Steve continue their rivalry, with Steve being Bo's boss, making him work extra hard. Almost throwing his back out today. Marlena and Krish, as I said, they're teasing those two, seeing if there's like chemistry there. That's what a lot of these soaps used to do in the past, is test chem their characters back when they didn't used to record so far in advance like Days does these days, to see if there's potential couples. And they're testing that with Marlena and Chris, although I think they just have more friend energy than romantic.
You didn't know your hubby was working full time for me? What kind of a relationship do you have?
Oh yeah, Hope didn't know.
Bo, you really do like keeping secrets from this pretty little thing, don't you?
He will keep a secret.
Open up.
I guess you didn't get a good chance to look at me.
Well, if I had realized how cute you were, I probably would have played tag with you.
Hey,
Mike always flirting.
I saw this pretty lady here standing by herself.
That is his character in these days.
Oh, I can't. Listen, I got the scoop on the new head of surgery.
Yeah?
Yeah, apparently this guy is some kind of super brain. I mean,
Yeah, it's definitely going to be her. They keep saying guy.
Yeah.
Is that all you heard?
Well, I also heard the guy's just out of diapers.
He's young?
That's what I heard.
Oh, man, I don't believe this. I mean, out of the frying pan and into the fire.
Now let's have a nice University Hospital welcome for our new head of surgery, Dr. Robin Jacobs.
Yes, me. Inept, but real cute.
She got you. Got him.
Then maybe you can get me a prescription for some drugs.
Oh, we got ourselves
Come on, Jennifer.
Are you crazy?
either an
I
addict
thought we were friends since the Christmas
or
celebration.
somebody who wants to sell him.
Why can't you help me out?
I can't even believe you're asking me.
Look, friends help each other, don't they?
I thought you tried to clean up your act.
I did. It's not like I'm back on dope. I'm just using a little bit.
He's an addict.
All right, Matt, I will see what I can do, okay? Just stay here and don't go anywhere.
Yeah, he's gonna do that.
Anyway, it's really nice to find out who remembers you.
What is this letter? The Victor, something about Victor Kiriakis. What the hell did Bo do, and how is Shane being blamed for this?
All right.
I've seen this Bo story before, but I don't remember it.
I have to help Shane.
So yeah, like I just said, I've seen the Bo parts of this story it's been a long time now, so I don't remember. It's irritating me that I don't know where the story's going, mostly because it doesn't make sense right now. I'm hoping, and I'm sure they'll tie it together, how what Bo did years ago, Shane is being blamed for now and being accused of espionage because he works for the ISA. Hopefully they'll tie that together and I hope that story starts moving a little more. But this episode overall today I thought was very solid. We got Shane has a plan and Bo's going to be a part of it, so that's going to be a little adventure. Days and General Hospital were the adventure stories, soaps in the 80s. So that's what we have to look forward to. Steve being a rat to Victor to stay in Victor's good graces, even though he's keeping the pawn from Victor, is fun to watch play out. I actually enjoyed the start of Robin on the show as the head surgeon at the hospital, having some spats with Mike because she's so much younger. Of course, Mike was being his usual self, hitting on her at first, being a flirt. But then when he found out that she was the head, he'd been talking about the surgeon being too young and probably too inept for the job. And he still seems to really feel that way. He gave an apology to Robin, but it wasn't like, hey, I'm sorry that I feel this way about you because you're so young. It was more like, hey, I'm sorry I said this to your face. And Robin didn't take that and called herself his superior. And we're setting up a nice little enemies to lovers storyline that I am actually looking forward to because I've barely seen any of the Mike and Robin stuff that I do know that's coming, but still. If we saw Jennifer and her friend Matt, who just wanted money for dope, even though he said it was for food, it's hard to believe that if he's an addict. Jennifer wants to see the last of him, but I doubt that will be the case. But I'm looking forward to Jennifer's story play out too. Jennifer being young on the show right now. She has some love stories to come if we get that far. But yeah.
Is it still scheduled to leave on time?
I do hope this is successful for Shane, only because I want the story to move along, to be honest.
I really need your help.
I can see that. You're all strung out again.
I know, but I can get you straight.
Not with drugs.
With the money you gave him, Jennifer.
Forget about it, babe.
I believe Victor's done some
Everybody is. At least the ones
holding
that are
money
afraid
over
to
Pete's
get
head in
curiosity.
1985 or
About him
something.
having jumped in the river, risking his life to save Shawn?
Look, I know nothing about that, all right?
Well, I know about it. He saved my husband's life. I saw it with my own eyes, and so did a lot of other people. And nobody.
One thing about Caroline, she's always going to be defending Victor.
The explosion.
I want to tell you something. I work for Mr. Kyriakis.
Yes, I know that.
Well, maybe you don't know how much he cares about you. He's forbidden
Okay,
anyone who works
Savannah.
for him to harm any member of your family.
So does Savannah still work for him, or? Sounds like something someone still work for him would say.
I can almost feel the muscles move when I watch you.
You want to watch muscles move? Why don't you go to a strip joint? Join a gym.
It wouldn't be half as good as it is here.
You don't know when to stop, do you?
Yeah, she's trying pretty hard, Chris.
When I get what I want. Okay, then we'll go somewhere else. Let's go for a walk. Let's go to dinner.
I did always think these two had chemistry.
I know you want to.
No. No, I don't.
It's not what your eyes tell me, Chris.
Savannah, do me a favor. Don't try to pretend you
I mean,
know
their
me
eyes
better
haven't
than
left
I
each other this whole time.
Maybe I do.
Seems like we have an impasse. I'm afraid I'm going to have to break it.
Don't do anything foolish, laddie.
Peach, I'm not going to let you stop me. We have to get out of here. Come on, Bo, let's go.
Hold it.
Well, damn.
Don't move.
Peachy's being a bit over the top, but she's so by the books. She wants to pull out a gun on Shane. I mean, that was a solid enough episode, and I guess it is a Friday cliffhanger. Peachy with a gun. But my only problem with the Shane and Bo story is that it's a bit convoluted as how Shane is being the one blamed when Bo did this years ago when he was in the Merchant Marines. How is that now coming onto Shane? I just don't get that part of the story. I guess Shane maybe kind of explained it there at the end, saying that Nickerson, who I believe is like the head of the ISA at this point, framed him. So maybe Nickerson like has connections to Victor, probably, is what I'm assuming. So I guess that unconvolutes it a little bit if that's what really happened. Yeah, I was hoping Bo would get the truth out sooner rather than later, because I just want that part of the story to move along. Obviously, the pace on days at this point is on the slower side, I fear, but it's what we're gonna have to deal with. I like the Savannah part of the story. You know, she's now the ex-drug dealer who just saved someone addicted to drugs, kind of, who was almost overdosing. They did a good job of pulling a lot of different people into that story. Jennifer obviously is the friend with the person with the addiction and gave him money, who used the money to buy drugs in the first place. And then Chris is trying to stay away from Savannah, even though she still wants to be with him, clearly. All the flirting she did in this episode. But Chris is trying to move on with Marlena. And that's what the show has been testing anyway. But I liked Pete's scene with Jennifer. They are going to be related by marriage if and when he marries Melissa. And the show always, before this point, had a good, like I said during the episode, Chris was always a father figure to Pete. And that was brought up in this episode too. So a lot of history was used in this storyline because Savannah also, when Pete and Melissa were on the run during the Miami storyline, when Victor first came to town as like this mob boss, Savannah was the one trying to track them down. So Pete got to get some shots in at her about, oh, look at you, the drug dealer who's now saving one person addicted to drugs. Whoop-de-doo. So that was nice. I think that was kind of like everything that went on in this episode. I didn't really understand Savannah sticking up so hard for Victor with Caroline if she's supposed to be this person wanting to change, but anyway, hopefully this next week we get some more movement in some of these stories. But the dynamics are always interesting. Steve is always creepy with Hope. Always their scenes have you on a little bit on edge, which is good acting from Stephen Nichols' part as Patch. And I like the different dynamics we got to see in this episode. But I'm just rambling now, so we will see you when we get to a new week of Days of Our Lives from 1986.